Good evening, friends. It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. I just got off a hour-long live conversation with my friend Chaz Wilson, the founder of Master Networks, and that was a really fun conversation. Chaz, thanks for having me on the call. Today we're going to talk about, in this episode, why aren't you creating online programs? I don't care if you are a brick-and-mortar business or if you are a digital business, it doesn't matter. But what I know is that and I know a lot of my tribe tend to be coaches, healers, transformational coaches, life coaches. And your ability to create an online course will expand your important work. So if you have important work in this world, I want you to consider having an online program. And this program can be delivered in person. It can be delivered recorded. It's up to you. But whatever the case is, you need to start moving your thoughts towards having an online program. The question I ask here in the text of this is, it's important for you to answer this question because you already have reasons why you haven't done this yet. For some of you, the reasons will be technology, as in like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to create an online program. For some of you, it's more of logistical, like, I don't know who I'm going to offer the program to. As you start to answer this question for yourself about why you're not, you'll start to uncollapse or untangle the picture here, like all the reasons that are in your way of not creating an online program. So I want to let's dispel a couple myths that I am present to or that were there for me. I think originally I saw that online programs would be smart. And this was years ago. I started trying to create online programs 4 years ago. Originally what I was doing 7-8 years ago was I was a coach. Oh my God, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I started my own coaching company. I was a coach, and my coaching was delivered one-on-one through the phone. So it wasn't an online program. It was delivered through Skype or on the phone, me to you. But a lot of that was an exchange of ideas. Hey, it was accountability based. Hey, what did you do? Hey, here, let's try this next week, and all that. But it was time intensive. Coaching is very time intensive. And what I've found on this side of doing online programs is that there is a lot of synergy created when there is more than one person, which I love, by the way. I couldn't have predicted that, so I'm telling you from experience now. I wish I had known how much energy was in a program with more than one person, like with multiple people. So that's, first of all, that's part of it, is just getting more people there. But I think another thing that I love about the online program thing, and I say this to my students, is like, well, let me first say it in one of the reasons why I didn't do online programs. I was afraid that there wouldn't be any value. I was afraid that the value came from me as a coach. And so to do an online program removed me in some way from the one-on-one coaching experience. So do you understand? Like, how I had experienced my value up to a certain point before starting online programs was I coach you and you get insights and your unique problems and circumstances are your unique problems and circumstances. And so I couldn't bring other people into that conversation because I was dealing with you and your unique circumstance. And so my experience of my value was entirely in the one-on-one exchange. So I was afraid that by creating an online program for multiple people, that there wouldn't be any value. And I don't think that's uncommon for many people, maybe you, thinking how, like, the value that you're used to exchanging with people is in some other format than an online program. So how will they get this value? And you haven't wrapped your head around that yet. So now let me tell you what I tell my students or my participants. The value that people get, whether your program costs $49 or it's $4,000, this is the answer. Ready? The value that people get from your program is not in what you say. The value that people get from your program is in what you have them do. Do you hear that? The value in your programs is not from what you say. The value in your programs is from what you have them do. Ultimately, when people are coming to you for help, whether it's one-on-one coaching or a program, both can create transformation. That's what people are after. People are like, I'm stuck here. This is where I want to go. And they're looking for solutions. Some solutions are one-on-one coaching. Some solutions are counseling. Some solutions are business coaching. Some solutions are online programs. The situation is the same. I'm stuck here. This is where I want to go. The situation is the same. So if I'm stuck here and this is where I want to go, where I want to go is there's a transformation that happens from here to here. Right, what got me here won't get me here. I have to think differently. I have to act differently. There is a transformation that will happen. And here's what I want you to know. Transformation doesn't happen in information. Transformation happens in process. Transformation happens from action. And so this is why the value of your programs don't come from what you tell them. The value of your programs come from what you have them do. Why? Because that's where the transformation is. The transformation is in you having them do something, and they're going to have to think differently as they do that thing. And on the end of the process, on the end of time, when they've gone through an iteration of it all, they know themselves as someone different. They've experienced the transformation. And then when they look back on it, they go, wow, that $4,000, that $49, whatever your price is, was totally worth it. Because they know themselves as someone different. Now, this is one of the biggest problems with online courses right now, is that most online courses are just information-based. This is one of the problems with the course creator world is, and I think it's working itself out in some ways, but I think a lot of people got into course creation thinking it was a cash grab, like, oh, I'm just going to record some videos, put it online, like Skillshare, Udemy, Kajabi, wherever. People are going to buy it in droves, and I'm not going to have to do any work, and I'm going to make all this money. Well, that's not how it worked for me. And I don't think that's how it works for most people, okay? It's saturated. Course creation, creating a course to just create a course and invite the world to it is saturated. And that's not a great strategy. And if you want to have your people relate to this more than just information, you need to create community. You need to create action, right? And the value, like I said, that they experience from your program is going to come from what you have them do. Okay, that's interesting, right? Like, let's keep going down this road. This is fun. If that is true, and I'm telling you that it is so far for me, that's what is creating the value of my programs. If that is true, then here's the next piece. If the value comes from the action you have them do, then you need to build a program that what? That has them do action. That's important because when you get into program design, like the second program I walk my graduates through is all about program design. How do you design the program? And then once the program's designed, how do you deliver the program? And then how do you invite people into, in other words, make the sale? How do you invite people into the program where you don't even have to make a sales call, right? That's my, but in the design of it, you have to start to think about what this is. This can't just be you uploading a video. And it also probably can't be you be like, okay, Chris, cool. Well, I'll just make sure on the end of my video that I give them a homework assignment. No, because guess what? Guess what they'll do? If you're not there to lead the experience for people, and it's just some evergreen video with a homework assignment, how many people do you think will actually take action? They won't. The majority of people won't. Even self-starters won't. How do I know? Because I'm a self-starter. Do you know how many programs I've bought over the years that I have never done the homework they gave me? Why? Because the environment they created had no teeth. I wasn't interested in it. I think I bought it for the promise that the information had, but there was no experiential piece to it. So you can already start to see that part of good program design is experiential. Like the experience you create for people matters. And now you can start to see that this is so much more than just recording a video and uploading it and hosting it on some site and taking money. That's not what course creation is in this day and age. So, what do we do with this? Well, I don't know where you're at in this inquiry of creating online courses. I'm going to tell you that in light of a quarantine, in light of people reconsidering what their daily lives look like, an online program makes a ton of sense right now. Right now, in this very specific time in life, like online programs and moving your business to online programs makes a ton of sense. But I don't think we're going to stay here. I think there'll be a time when we can come out of our homes, right? So even past that, you have to start to look at like the benefit of online programs is in leverage. It's in time. It's in leading multiple people for the same hour or however long. Like my sessions are 2 hours every week. So, how many people can you lead in those times? And the transformation, again, doesn't come from your wisdom and your experience. That helps, but the transformation comes from what you have them do. And if you did your program design right, you designed it in such a way that there was an experiential element here where they are inspired to do the work. Not because you put it as a homework assignment on the end of a video, but because you created an environment and a culture of that's what we do here. That's what we're doing. So again, I don't know where you're at in the idea of creating online programs, but I think every business should have some kind of online program. It is a great first impression. It is a great first experience with you. And if you do it right, many people will continue on in your programs because, and I use this statistic a lot because it's so prevalent and it makes so much sense. 98% of people don't trust what they read on the internet. 98% of people don't trust what they read on the internet. So this includes courses now. And if they can have an experience with you in this first program, an experience with you, not an evergreen set of recorded videos that they never interact with you. If they have a great experience with you, they are more likely to continue on the journey in your future programs because it's so hard to find someone you trust to lead you because so many people are willing to just put evergreen videos online and take your money. But you come along and actually spend time to get to know me and invest in me and help me. You see me. Then I feel safe with you. I feel like I trust you and I want to know, can you help me even further? Can you continue to help me up the mountain called my life? So let me see if I can't give you a couple of homework assignments here, right? I'm going to give you some homework assignments. We'll see if you do them, all you self-starters. That's hilarious. I cracked myself up. Okay. Well, look, what else could I give you? In the absence of, short of you going through my programs, the best I can do is give you a homework assignment. I can't create an environment for you unless you jump in my program. So I'm going to do my best to give you a homework assignment. And if you want to jump in my programs where I actually have an experiential learning process where you get to do the work and experience the transformation, then I will give you that link and that invitation in a minute. For online programs, one of the things you're going to need for your online program is a framework. Because if you try to just take all the stuff in your head and you have no way to organize it, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be painful for you to try to figure out what to record, how to deliver it. You need a framework. You need to find a framework for how to structure the program. Okay, there's a lot of options out there. You can look at if you have a favorite online program you've taken, you could go look at it as a model. Okay, I have my own model that I teach my graduates, but you need a framework to organize your thoughts, or it will be too crazy, too swirly for you to try to create. Okay, the next thing in your program, once you have a framework, is that you need to design it in a way that builds on itself. Meaning a lot of times in the programs I've taken, it's kind of like they give it to me all up front And then it's just little different tweaks along the way. Like they're not building any mastery or skill. They're not building skill in me. They're just delivering information. So once you have a framework, you need to think about what is the action? What is the action I would have them take to have the biggest transformation? Like, and by the way, I'm going to recommend that your programs be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks, especially in the beginning when they're just getting to know you and they're just kind of trying on a new skill. I wouldn't recommend a full year program. Give them something easy to start with. Give them some successes, right? And with that, side note, don't give them too much to do in 4 to 8 weeks. The temptation is going to be, oh my gosh, it's only 4 weeks. I'm going to have to deliver a ton of value, especially if I want to charge higher prices, which I think in your first program, you don't need to. My first program is $787, but you can make that easy for people by breaking it into payments. So there are different ways you can handle that, but your tendency is going to be to cram a bunch of information in to a 4 to 8 week program. And I'm going to tell you, you need to strip that way down. Way down. Sometimes you're going to stuff it full of information because you think that's going to add more value. And sometimes you're going to stuff it full of information because you just see this conversation from 30,000 feet. And you don't realize that people are freaking out over just one step. One step. So, by the way, that's part of thinking about your framework and designing your program. You're like, what is the total journey here? Now, of that journey, how do I begin to compartmentalize the different skill sets? Because ultimately what we're trying to do in our programs is develop a skill set. It's the skill set that creates the transformation, right? So in addition to the framework, you're going to give it some time, like 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere in that frame. And then you're going to strip down all the content to I call it the vital few. What are the vital few things they need to complete this journey in 4 to 8 weeks? So for example, in my first program called the Groundswell Method Intensive, it is a 6-week program. And there were 4 original modules, 4 original steps, and I added 2 more because 4 weeks wouldn't be enough time. I needed you to have, and 8 weeks was probably too much time. So I needed 2 additional modules, which I added. But the steps were, and I'm basically teaching you right now how this works, right? You're going to think about the journey. Here's where they're stuck. Here's where they want to go. What are the steps to get there? So for me, I realized that most businesses aren't great at marketing. And they don't like marketing because it doesn't feel congruent or authentic to who they are. And so as I thought about that, I'm like, my whole thing has been for years now, authentic marketing. How do you speak your truth to the world in such a way that your truth resonates with people, right? And so I'm like, okay, I need to build a program that helps you put your truth on loudspeaker so that you can launch your own podcast and show, et cetera. So like that's part of the culminating exercise at the end of these 6 weeks is you actually launch your own show and podcast in the world. So I thought, what are the steps? What are the steps? And I was like, okay, well, first you have to find the it. You have to find the conversation you want to lead in the world. What is the thing I'm here to say to the world? You have to find it. Okay? Once you find it, and that's important, right? Because I realize that most people are not speaking from a place of it. They're speaking from a place of like sales and marketing and here's my product and here's my service and feature benefit and all that crap. You're not actually speaking the thing that you really want to say to the world. And part of that's because you haven't landed on it. So in week 1, I actually walk you through and have a coaching call with you on how do you find it. It's already inside you. You've already been playing with it. You just maybe don't realize it. But there is an it you're here to lead in the world. So we have to find it. Okay. Step 2 in my program is then you need to capture it. You need to capture it. So if you found it, now let's just have you talk about it in a way that feels congruent to you rather than feeling like you're doing a marketing video and being all weird with lots of lights and big cameras, fancy cameras. And you don't need all that. You just need to find it. And once you have it, you can speak candidly and openly and transparently about that thing. We just need to be able to record it, or what I call capture it, right? So that was step 2, was teaching you how to capture. How do you capture this it you found? so that we can use it in marketing. Then step three was to produce it. How do we take this raw material and produce it in a way that works for YouTube and Instagram and podcast directories and Facebook and email and blogs and all this stuff? How do we produce this thing we've captured? And the fourth step, as I was thinking about this program, was, okay, after they produce it, they're going to need to know how to share it. Like how, what are the tools we use to share it? What are the right ways to share it? Okay. And those were the 4 steps. Find it, capture it, produce it, share it. So for you, in your business, you have people who are stuck in life somewhere. And you have a business, and even beyond your business, you have perspectives and paradigms and skill sets that you could teach them that move them from where they're stuck to where they want to go. You already have that. You've just been using a different way to get them through it, right? Maybe you've been doing whatever you've been doing. If you're a personal trainer, maybe you've been doing it through personal training sessions, but you haven't gone as far to think about, well, what is the actual journey I'm having them do? And then you haven't built an experience online around helping them execute on that, for example. Okay. So what are the steps? Here's where they're stuck. Here's where they want to go. If I had to tell them today, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, 3 is this, 4 is this, what would those steps be? Now, gosh, guys, I'm really peeling back the curtain. This is turning into just like a mini class here. If I peel back the curtain on that, then each of those steps becomes a module. Each of those steps becomes a thing you teach on that week. So guess what? My first week is teaching on finding it. And I have a whole framework for how to design that finding it lesson. Then the second week is about capturing it. Third week, produce it. Fourth week, share it. Those become the actual modules of your online program. Right? So you can just start. I think that's enough homework for now. Okay. But just start there. I'll give you extra credit. I've already said it, but I'll give it to you as a homework assignment. Think about the people that you've served already in your business before an online program. What is the problem they come to you for? They're coming to you for something. Here's my problem. And if you can think out into let me just give it to you this way. If you can think, what is the opposite of that problem? That's the easiest way to get there, right? Where they want to go is the opposite of the problem they're in, right? So if your problem in business is, my cash flow is tight, I hate marketing, and so I'm invisible, that's a problem. The opposite of that, where you want to go, I'm guessing, is more consistent and abundant cash flow, right? Confident in what you're doing in your marketing, and visible to all those who actually would want to work with you. That's just coming up with the opposite. But isn't it true? It's true. So one of the easiest ways to start to think about the frame of your program is, where are people stuck when they come to see me? What are they seeing me for? Now, what's the opposite of that? And then once you have those, what are the steps? Step 1 would be this. Step 2 would be this, 3 and 4. And that becomes the bridge from where they're stuck to where they want to go. So once you have that, now you have the beginnings of an online program, okay? The beginnings of, the frame of an online program. All right, gang, obviously there's more to this. I have a whole 8-week program that goes through how to actually design and deliver an 8-week program. It's 8 weeks, right? Of 2-hour trainings a week. That is 16 hours of training with me on this very thing. But I'm trying to give you a place to start. Okay, if you've thought about creating online programs, I'm trying to give you a place to start so you can begin to think sort out all the extra chatter that is confusing you, and start to hone your perspective for what it actually requires. Okay, this was fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you'd like to learn more about my 6-week program, because that's where it all starts, right? The Groundswell Method Intensive, where I teach you how to find it, capture it, produce it, and share it. You can go to groundswellmethod.com. groundswellmethod.com. There are 5 videos waiting there for you. Why 5 videos, Chris? Why didn't you just make it 1 video? That would have been so much easier for me. Well, right. What I know is, if you're not hungry enough to get through 5 videos, you're not going to do the work of this 6-week program. The 6-week program is an intensive program. And if you can't make it through 99 minutes, it's 99 minutes. All 5 videos are total combined 99 minutes. Which is about the time of a webinar. But if you can't make it through video 1 to video 2 to video 5, you won't make it through my 6-week program. It's just too intense. Okay. But here's the good news. The transformation that happens in 6 weeks time, if you, right on the last page of those 5 videos is an application button. You fill out the application, comes to me. If you're in the program, in those 6 weeks that we spend together, there is massive and crazy transformation of you starting to step into the inspired message life has given you to share with the world. And your experience of yourself and your experience of marketing completely change. Because when people come into this 6-week program, they feel, most of them just hate marketing coming into this program. They're like, I know I need to do it, but I hate it. And by the end of the 6-week program, they're actually inspired by who they are for the world. And they realize that marketing is just a platform or a conduit or a conversation they're leading for the difference they're here to make. And that transformation happens because of the work I have you do. Not because of anything brilliant I say, though I think I say some good things, but it's because of the work I have you do. That's how the transformation happens. So if you'd like that kind of transformation in not only in your marketing, right? But if you'd like that kind of transformation in your experience of marketing and your business, so that you feel like you're connected to a deeper meaning here. This isn't just about the next transaction, that this is a bigger groundswell in the world you're creating, then you can go to groundswellmethod.com and watch all 5 videos. How many? All 5. All 5. And on the last page of the 5th video, right, there is an application button. It's yellow and it says apply today and you can't miss it. And the time of the next 6-week program is in April at the time of this recording, okay? All right, gang. Tammy, thank you so much. I love your passion too. Tammy says, love your passion. Thank you, Tammy. I love your passion too. Okay, gang, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until tomorrow when we go live again, here's to you taking on your online programs. See ya.